So welcome and thank you for coming to our Embark on Your Pathway session tonight. My name is Crystal Cobb and I am your Program Quality Director. I appreciate your patience. I know last week some of you joined on and we were having some technical difficulties. So fingers crossed that tonight is our night.
Good.
So I do have a poll that I want to. You're logged in from another polling device. Are you kidding me? I had a poll, so it's not available. So I'm going to ask for a show of hands. If you don't have your camera on, you can just press the emoji hand.
Mm-hmm.
Who here is feeling really comfortable with pathways overall?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a couple hands. Who's
I will
feeling
tomorrow.
mediocre? What was that, Mike?
I will tomorrow night.
Okay. I love that enthusiasm. Yes. Who's petrified of pathways? And it's okay if you are. And I'm not sure if Suzanne, your hand is up from before.
Oh, it's from before. I'm mediocre.
Okay. How do you feel about navigating pathways in base camp? Is it difficult? Is it easy as pie, since we're talking food so much tonight? Or is it okay and you're getting through it? And how about instead of the hand raising, we could just take ourselves off mute and tell me, or put it in the chat.
Option 3.
Getting through it.
Yeah, I'm getting through too.
Getting through too.
Going through. I don't
Okay.
find it hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Darlene, thanks. And what are some things that you want to learn about when it comes to pathways? Because your answers will help for my future presentations, of course. So I need to be taking some notes on this.
I'd like to learn more about the base camp manager.
Okay.
Right.
I'd like to know more about the new level 1 path, because I noticed people have already started their level 1 path and yet they have the option now to do the opposite or their newer projects.
Right.
So I find that a little confusing. As I'm the VP of Education, I'm trying to track the progress.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know more about level 1, the new one. And I'm a bit confused about people who are in more than one club. I don't know when they switch, if they switch, and if I'm told they're going to switch, when that switch was starting, what is shown on the roster or wherever that person is now on some path for my group as opposed to another club. I have no idea, and I don't get much information from the member either, because he probably doesn't know either. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Toastmaster assured him that yes, he can do it, but the details seem to be not there at the moment.
That's a
I'd like to be
great
able
question.
to speak with more confidence on pathways. I'm finding that a lot of people will ask me questions, and I have background, basic knowledge, but I'd like to be able to be more confident in my delivery and answers.
Yeah.
I'd like to know if you can actually, if somebody checks something wrong. I had somebody said they went in and finished, say, body language like that. In part of level 2, they did that speech, and it was actually their communication speech they did. Is there a way to actually reverse that?
Oh, Toastmasters. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and also, Crystal, sorry, one more thing I thought of. Speeches outside of the club,
Mm-hmm.
how to give credit to members.
Okay. 6. I wrote down 6 points. So that is a great start. Of course, you can always email me or reach out to me directly with more questions. I have had a few people do that, and I work to find the answer if I don't know it offhand and get back to you. But these will help to tailor the needs so that I can provide you with information that you're looking for. So thank you for that. So for tonight, I had originally planned to look at the new level 1 and what that entails. But my question for you tonight here is, how many of you have purchased a pass since October 27th, because that's when the new path, the new level 1 was released, and have access to the new level 1? Is there anyone here that has it?
No.
No.
Okay, so I'll save that for another time. And let's take a look at the level 1 that was first launched when Pathways came out. We'll talk a little bit, I'm going to do some navigation about even how to get into Basecamp. Some of it you probably know, and that's okay. It's more of a refresher. And for anyone that still is really hesitant and unsure of how to get into Basecamp and kind of navigate to get started. So I'm going to share my screen here. Does
Okay.
everyone know how to get into Basecamp? What
Yes.
website we have to go to?
Toastmasters International.
Toastmasters.org. Yes. You have to log in. So you'll see up here, it says welcome Crystal. You can see my screen, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Perfect. Now, where should we go to get into Pathways, do you think?
I
Pathways.
click on my name.
You click on your name, okay? And then I heard someone say Pathways.
Pathways, yeah.
So who said click on my name?
Suzanne Melling.
Suzanne. I thought that was you, Suzanne, but I wasn't sure. So I've clicked on my name. So let's see where that takes us. Because with most websites, there is more than one way to get to the place where you want to go.
Mhm.
And they're telling us that world headquarters is closed tomorrow. So don't try to contact them because they won't answer tomorrow. Okay, Suzanne, now that I've clicked on my name and here I am. Now where do I need to go?
I would click on where you have Charlottetown Toastmaster Go.
Up here?
Yep.
Oh, look at that. It says go to Basecamp. So that is awesome, Suzanne. I don't go this way. So I've never really knew that. And so you just taught me something. So you
Ooh.
can go by clicking your name, it takes you to this page and you can click go.
Yep.
If you don't go that way and you start back on the home page, you're still logged in and you click on Pathways, it gives you a drop-down menu. And then you click go to Basecamp.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's two ways you can go.
Mhm, mhm.
As long as you're logged in, because you definitely have to be logged in and able to access your Basecamp.
Okay.
If you're not logged in, it will ask you to log in before you'll be able to access anything. So up here, you'll see it says, welcome to Pathways. And now it's saying I can choose a path, I can access my path, or I can do the navigator, which is a guide that gives you step-by-step on how to get going. So I already have a path. You'll see here, it has my home club listed, the Charlottetown Toastmasters Breakfast Club. I am a member of 2 clubs. If you are, you can click the drop-down menu and it will give you the option to select which club you want to log in as in order to look at your paths. It doesn't matter which club you log into in order to see all your paths. This is key when you're logging in to complete a level,
Right.
depending on which club you want to give it to. So if I wanted to complete a level today because I finished a speech at my breakfast club this morning, I would be sure that when I log into and go to Basecamp, I've selected the Charlottetown Toastmasters Breakfast Club, because once I press complete on my level, the VP of Education, the president, and or the secretary, the Basecamp managers are going to get an alert that I have a level to approve. But if I had this selected as Spotlight Toastmasters, but I actually wanted to give it to the Breakfast Club, the Breakfast Club wouldn't get the notification. The Spotlight members would for Basecamp Manager because I had selected Spotlight.
All right.
When you try to switch your home club selection, it does ask you to confirm. So that's a good thing. This little pop-up shows and says, are you sure you want to switch? If you do, you press continue. And if you don't, then you just cancel it.
Okay.
So I am going to go into Basecamp as Charlottetown Toastmasters Breakfast Club. And then my Basecamp will load and we'll be able to see, access different things.
Okay.
So you'll see here, it says, welcome, Crystal. You can click here for your education transcript, paths, and learning. If you click here, it's speech evaluations. If you're evaluating someone and they haven't given you the evaluation form, but you know which project they're working on, you can click here and download any of the speech evaluations throughout all of the paths and all of the projects. You just have to find it in here.
Is there
There's
also,
also,
sorry,
go ahead, Winnie.
Is there also a generic evaluation form under that level, under that title?
No, they're all specific to each level.
Okay,
So it would be like the research and presenting one, or the evaluation and feedback level 1,
okay,
or speech 1. There would be the using presentation software. So whatever the title of the project is, that's how you find the speech
Oh.
evaluation.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Actually, I do find that difficult because like you said, you need to know the name of it
You do.
as
Yeah.
opposed
And
to
the
level 1 or, naming it that way. Yeah.
So I know that for the Free Toast Host website, which is the site that my club uses, we ask our speakers to fill that out, preferably before the meeting, of course. And if they do, then it gives you the option to just download it right from the Free Toast Host website. But if you don't use that, or they haven't filled it out, then you have to reach out to them and try to get the information before the meeting so that you have time to download the evaluation. So that way, when you're doing the evaluation, you're following along and answering the questions, because if you don't have that, and then you go to try to fill it out after, oh, I can't really remember, what should I put here? So it is good to try to get that information from the speaker before. And also sometimes some clubs do ask for the purpose of the member's speech. At my club, we ask the evaluator to read that out. And if you don't have the evaluation form, then you can't do that. There's also some tutorial and resources here that you can access. Here, under this paths and learning section in the middle where it says open curriculum, it will show you 3 different paths if you have 3. If you have more, it only starts showing you 3 here. So you can open them quickly here, or you can go to this paths and learning transcript to access any of your paths that you have in progress. It also will show the completed ones. There's some filters that you can use. So you'll see here, it's showing, the filters are, it's showing everything that I have active. So I have the dynamic leadership path. I have my supplemental reading, which we can talk about in a little bit. I have team collaboration, and I have visionary communications. And then I've started a how to evaluate session as well. If you click on this drop down here, you can see what ones you've completed as well. So you'll see here, I've completed the effective coaching, the Pathways Mentor Program, Persuasive Influence. I did my meeting role requirements. I opened and looked at the Navigator, and I finished my Distinguished Toastmaster project as well. So all you have to do is use the filter, and you can see what you have active and what you have completed.
Could you show again where the filter is, could be found, please?
Sure, I sure can. So when you first click on the past and learning, this is
Yeah.
where it shows you. And you'll see here on the active, the little drop down arrow there, you just
Yeah.
click there and
Yeah.
that's the filter. And then you can select whichever you'd like to.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You can also filter by training type. So it could be by title, status, when you added it, the due date, and the training type.
Okay,
And then this one is for curriculum or online class. So you can filter how you like, or you can also use the search bar over here to the right and type in whatever you like.
So
If
I
you-
have a question, because
Certainly.
when I look on my page, I have about 20 projects that says mark complete, launch, mark complete. And so these were projects that I've opened up and looked at, but not necessarily done. Is there any way to remove them
Okay.
or just filter them?
That's a good question. Would you be comfortable sharing your screen so I can see?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Let me stop mine. I'm a visual person, so I have to see things.
Yeah, so am I.
Okay.
So this is my pathway and my 2 paths: innovative planning, strategic relationships. But then
Yep.
I've got all of these that I've either started or decided not to do, but I wanted to open up and look. And I think a lot of us do that with the electives. You want to
Yeah.
look at them,
Yeah.
but have not marked them complete. So I'm not sure if it's because I've started the questions, like how do I rate myself at the beginning, or is it just because I opened them?
That's an interesting question. Can you press the little drop down beside the mark or beside the launch and see what happened? Yeah. Can you click that?
So launch.
Okay. So launch means it opens it up. The training details will give details on how far you've gone in whatever it is that you're looking at. Move to archive transcripts would move it out of there,
Okay.
and then you could access it that way.
Okay, but that would still be in all of my different projects, whatever one have clicked on. So if I end up going into innovative planning and decided I did want to look at, well, I did do research and presentation, like, because that's a required one. right?
So the
On level one.
evaluation resource if you want to just click launch, Sharon, that would, so we can see it. I'm wondering if it's the evaluate your project that they're asking you to. No, it's the actual
It's the actual
evaluation form.
evaluation form, yeah.
Hmm.
And anyway, so I've never gone down that page because I don't usually look at it, but I just look, I was like, wow, very busy. I might have
So
to
you-
move them to archive then, yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. So that's a good question for me to check with TI about.
Okay, yeah, because I see somebody else commented that she sees that as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry to disrupt your.
No,
Not,
it's okay.
not at all, Sharon. This is what I want so that we can
Yeah.
see, because I only see my own, right? And if there's questions or things come up, then that is wonderful. So I'm just going to make myself a quick note here.
Sure. And if you have any questions afterwards, you can always follow up with me. Sure.
Mhm.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for bringing that up. All right, let's go back to, I'll start sharing mine again. So the dynamic leadership path, we're going to go into, or maybe we could do the visionary communications because I don't think I'm as far in that one. The window with the pictures of you guys is, I have to keep moving it so I can see where I am on the screen to click the appropriate thing. So you'll see here, I have visionary communication path and it's currently in progress. So I want to open it up to see the different projects and the different levels. Let's go to level 1 because that's where we want to focus tonight.
Right.
So when you can look at all the different levels and different projects. They opened that up, which is great. So you can click on the different levels here on the left-hand side,
Mhm.
and you can click on level 1 or level 2. You can, excuse me, you can click activate, you can open the projects, you can print the projects. There's all kinds of things. Like it's kind of wide open, so you can explore and plan for your path. But tonight we're going to focus on looking at level 1 and what that entails.
Okay.
So if it's your first time going into level 1 and you haven't done any of the projects, you'll see this blue box here. It will say activate, just like this one down here does. You'll click activate, and then it'll say launch. Once it says launch, you can click on it and it will open up a new window. So you have to make sure that your pop-ups are not blocked. That's key. And it opens up a new window. And this is how you can actually access the project. My screen around. Then we'll look at how to navigate through the project. We'll discuss how you can print it and access the resources. So when you come to it, it's not going to say congratulations because you haven't completed it yet. It does for me because I've actually already completed this project. But when you first log on, it'll show you how to navigate through the projects. So the arrows on the left and right sides that are gray and they turn blue when you go over them. You can also navigate through this drop up. It's not a drop up. What do you call the menu when it goes up? If you press the drop down button, but then the menu pops up. However you want to call that, or whatever you want to call that, you can navigate through different sections this way as well. So we're starting fresh, we're learning, we're going to navigate through these buttons to start. So it gives you an introduction, and the first project is your icebreaker. Now, some of us have been Toastmasters for a little while. Some of us have been Toastmasters for many years. We still have lots of icebreakers in us, even if we've been doing Toastmasters for 20 plus years. So I know some of us think, oh, I have to do an icebreaker. Like I've already done 15 of those. There's so many things about you that you can tell us. I know there is. So let's look at this icebreaker as an opportunity to share something new with your Toastmaster friends. So it goes into the details about what the project is, how long your speech should be, and what kind of things you will and can be learning during the project. As you read this, there may be videos to watch, there may be pictures, and you just take your own pace and go through and scroll through the slides. You'll see here, we're at the assignment page. It tells us what the purpose is, what the overview is, and we have the option to print it. If we click down here, you'll see this kind of popped up. So you can click on this and it will open the project resource and you can print the materials. You just click on this directions and it pops it back down and you can continue scrolling through your assignment and your path, your project. You can also click on the project checklist and it will open up a new window. You can type in this, you can print it, you can download it, whatever you like. This is a project checklist to help you prepare for your speech. So we've looked at that, we've printed it or done whatever we want to do with that. Let's keep moving on. So we're navigating through these arrows here. Now they want you to assess your skills before you start your project. So when you come to this, you'll read the question and you'll select based on the rating scale, like 1 being lower, depending on what the question is. So for this one, in terms of confidence and calm, how do I feel? So 1 would be not so great and 5 would be the top level. I feel really confident and calm when talking to people. So you select whatever it is you decide. For this, if you click on this button here, it's going to take you out of the assessment. You want to make sure that you click next. It brings you to the second question. Again, you answer it. Click next. Third one, click next. The next question, and you keep going through, answer all the questions. You're going to just click on whatever number you feel comfortable in terms of answering the question and click next. Once you get to the end and you have finalized it, you're going to click out. You'll see here the next has grayed because there's no further questions to answer. Now it's going to talk about the competencies. As I mentioned, there may be some videos. For this one, it's telling us how to interact with the videos. So the play, the stop, you can slide the bar across, you can pause it. So this is kind of the instructions on how to use the videos during your project. So you would listen to the project, listen to the video, I'm sorry. You can click so that it's big. Can you guys hear it as they're speaking?
As you prepare to deliver.
I don't know if you guys could hear her talking.
Just a little bit, very faint.
Wondering what the experience is like.
I want to get it. Oh, I want to get out of it.
You experienced members who talked about their icebreaker
Stop.
and shared tips that will help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was a stop button, but it's actually the make it big button. So when I pressed that, it made it big, full screen. When I pressed this again, it went back to the little screen. So the play is also the stop button. So if you want to maximize the video, you can click on this. And when you want to get out of it, you click it again and it makes it small. So you'd watch the video. And then now we're at you and your goals, and you'll see here, there's some worksheets. So you can feel free to use them or not, it's up to you. It's always good to check them out and see what they entail so that you are prepared and getting the support that you need in order to work through your project. They come up in PDF, so you can type in them and then download and print, or you can just print them and fill them out with pen and paper, whatever works for you. You're going to keep going through the slides here so you can have the details on how to work through the project. And here you'll see they want you to navigate within this screen. So whenever you see the back and the next, that means that they have other slides to show you. So you'll see here there's 5 slides. So when you hit next, it moves forward. You can also go back if you're like, oh, I want to look at that one back there again. You can navigate back. So you're going to make sure that you click through all of these so you can read the details that are there to help you with your project. For this page, you'll see that these are also clickable. So every time you click on one of these reddish maroony colored tabs, it brings new information that they want you to read that goes with the project. So there is a lot of interaction within each of the slides or the pages within the project. There's some graphics that you get, pictures that so you don't get bored just reading text. Of course, here's another slide where you're going to want to navigate so that it brings new details to read. You'll see here that it does give you some information about the navigator to read for this one, specifically talking about the evaluation process. Here is how you start reviewing and applying the project details. Now it's time to complete your assignment. So they give you steps. The review step, here's another button, you can click more. So you click and then up comes the organize. More, make sure you schedule your speech, of course, and then prepare is how to get the evaluation. You'll see here there is a project checklist, something that you can print and download if you like. Excuse me. This talks about the evaluation. Again, you can click on these and it gives you details about the scaling from 1 to 5 on the evaluation form. This is really helpful for people when they are evaluating speeches to ensure that the number that you're picking kind of coincides and works with what you are trying to portray to the speaker. If you select 1, then you feel that they're still developing and that they have things to work on, of course. If you pick number 5, you're saying that their speech was exemplary in that area. Here are your resources. So this is where you can click your resource for the evaluation. It brings it up. You can download it and then send it to your evaluator. You could ask the evaluator to get it from their Basecamp as well, but I find it's easier to send it to them. Unless you're using the Free Toast Host website, then you can also make sure you have filled out your speech details and they can download it right from the website. Want to print your entire project, you can do from here. This outline worksheet again, we did see it back earlier, but it's here as well. After you've completed your speech, so you've gone, you've prepared it, you've used all the resources in this project, you've delivered your speech at your club meeting. After you come back, they want you to do an assessment. So it's very similar, or it's exactly the same as the assessment at the beginning that we did, where you have to select from 1 to 5 and then click next until you get through all of the questions. Once you hit submit at the end, this pops up and it gives you a snapshot of what your answers were before your speech and then what your answers were after your speech. So you can take a look and see if you feel that you've improved. You'll see here, I was feeling pretty good for my icebreaker because this was my 3rd path that I worked on. So I was feeling pretty good before. And then after, I was feeling very confident. Once you've completed your skills after on this page, and this pops up, when you click the next arrow to navigate, that means that you've completed this project. And you'll see it says congratulations. If you assess your skills after, but you do not hit the submit button, you won't be able to navigate to the congratulations, you've completed this project. They want you to complete the assess your skills before and after.
Okay.
So you can also navigate to any different aspect of the project. You don't just have to, like if you wanted to go back to your assignment, you wouldn't have to click, this back 15 times. You can just use this navigation here and say, I wanted to go to the competencies again. So you would just click on that and it brings you right to the page. So there's 2 different ways to kind of navigate through the project, using the arrows here or this menu where you can select which section you want to jump to. So I use the evaluation one a lot because that's how I get my evaluation resource, especially when I'm doing a speech outside of my home club. So then I can download it and send it to my evaluator. Any questions on this, these arrows, the navigation here?
Crystal, the question, this is Suzanne Melling. The question that I have is, once you've completed this, does it automatically populate that you have completed that project?
Okay,
So
great
you-
question.
That little check
Suzanne.
mark.
So it'll come here. And I'm just trying to, you
Oh, yeah.
know, when you do things so often and you're like, you don't even think about doing the steps and then you're like, what happens when?
Yeah,
So once you come back, this check mark should be there automatically because it says, congratulations, you've completed.
okay,
And then the same for this one. It's when you've completed the last one and you have to get your level 1 completion, that's when you have to take some action.
okay.
But how do you know? You go into your path and you're like, okay, I know I'm on level 1, but I don't remember what I've done or what I've not done. The
Mhm.
key here is looking to see what's been launched. You'll see here that the Icebreaker was launched and the evaluation and feedback was launched, but you'll see research and presenting still says activate. So I haven't touched this at all yet.
Mhm.
You'll see here for the Icebreaker, it has this check mark in the top right corner of this little picture. That does mean complete. And you also see that the level 1 progress bar says 50% completed. Here, under the level 1, you'll also see for level 1, there are 4 things that you have to complete. This includes the level 1 completion. There's 3 projects, but there is a 4th step in order to finalize level 1. You'll see here that I've completed 2. I've completed the Icebreaker and the evaluation and feedback. So let's take a look at the evaluation and feedback project. Has everyone completed evaluation and feedback project in level 1 yet?
Yes,
Yes.
Anyone? Okay. Anyone that hasn't?
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah.
It's
Yes.
okay
I
if you
haven't.
haven't.
It's Rochelle.
Okay.
No.
Okay, Rose. We're all on different paths and different stages. So there's no wrong answer for this. With the evaluation and feedback project, there are actually 3 parts to it. They ask you to do a project, a speech. So it's a 5 to 7 minute speech. You're evaluated on that by someone. Then you take their evaluation and you incorporate it into the second speech. It can be the same speech or it can be a different speech, as long as you take the evaluation from the first speech and incorporate it somehow into your speech. After you completed those 2 speeches, both 5 to 7 minutes, then you're asked to take on the role of being an evaluator for someone else during their speech. So the key is you're working on incorporating feedback, but then you're also working on giving feedback and listening. So there's 3 steps for this project. So you'll see here, it says congratulations because I have completed it, but I'm going to use this navigation here and I'm going to go to the beginning of it. So it gives us the introduction. If I click back here, it'll show us the navigation and how to move through the project again. But we've already discussed that quickly, so I'm going to move through. So here's the introduction. It's going to tell you about what the purpose of the project is and what you're going to learn during the time that you're working on the project. You'll see here again, you can view to print it, the project and the resources. It pops up. Just click on the directions button here and it pushes it down so that you can see the screen. So here it tells us the purpose is to present any project or any speech on a topic, get feedback, and then apply it to the second. So here it goes into details about what that looks like. So you do your first 5 to 7 minute speech, review your feedback, and then at another meeting, you provide another 5 to 7 minutes where you incorporate that feedback. Here it tells you you can do the same speech or do a different one. And then after you've completed both of those speeches, you serve as an evaluator. So here on your under your assignment page, it tells you exactly what it is that you need to do. Again, you'll scroll through each page, go through the videos and or different pages and click on any of the maroon colored tabs so that you can read. It does ask you to do your skills assessment before, again, making sure that you click next to answer all the questions. Once you've completed that, you start going into the details of the project. I'm going to navigate to the end so that you get to where you're going to complete your project. Again, you'll see here the maroon colored more. So you're going to click on that, click on it again as you read. It gives you your project checklist. So anytime that there's an underlined hyperlink, you can click on it and it will open something in a new page. And here is where you'll see your resources. For this one, there are two different evaluations, for one for the first speech and one for the second speech. And then this evaluation resource you use because you're evaluating someone else's speech. So you'll see that here it says the evaluator speech, and then there are specific notes to you that you're looking for in terms of the evaluation. So there's 3 steps to this project. Once you have completed them all, that's when you come back and you do your skills after, and then it gives you your comparison, your before and your after. Once you've completed that, that's when you get the congratulations and your project has been completed. So when you go back to your main home page in Basecamp, you'll see here that the evaluation and feedback, it has the little check mark there again. And this wouldn't have been at 50% before, it would have been at 25 once you finish level 1. But now that I've finished level 2, it goes up to 50%. The third project in level 1 is the research and presenting. So I haven't opened this one yet. So you'll see here it says activate. You'll click on that. It does its little happy dance, and then you have access to launch it. So when you press launch, it opens a new window to your project. And it does say, depending on your internet speeds, it will fluctuate on how quickly your page opens. So try to be patient and you'll get the spinny wheel and see that things are starting to work. And you can get ready to dive in. And now you'll see once this does open, I haven't done this project in this path before, so I'll have to make sure that I answer the before skills assessment in order to be able to move through. So you'll see here, this is the title. Excuse me. If I click this red begin here, it takes me into the project. Here's a review of how to navigate through the project in the different screens. Reminder that we can also use this navigation through here. So we've got our introduction, pretend that I've just read that and I'm ready to rock. Oh, I can print my project and resources here now if I like. I'm more into the technology, so I'm going to continue through here. So I'm going to push down, click on that to make sure it goes down so I can see the main screen. The purpose of this project is to learn and review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Again, there's a project checklist, so I can use that as I please. And it's asking me to select a topic that I'm not familiar with or that I want to learn more about. It should be narrow enough to be an effective 5 to 7 minute speech. And then it talks about researching and beginning organizing the information, and then practice so that I'm ready to present at my club meeting. Okay, that sounds good. Maybe I'll talk about hot dogs, red hot dogs. Speak that. So I actually know nothing about red hot dogs, so I'm going to have to research that. So you'll see here, it wants me to evaluate my skills before. If you read here, it gives you little instructions. It asks you to make sure that you submit when you're finished. So I'm going to click this directions so that it pops down. So I am comfortable in selecting speech topics. Maybe I'm about a 3 right now. I'm comfortable researching unfamiliar topics and citing my research sources. Ooh, yeah, not feeling so hot about that right now. So I'm going to put myself at a 2. I am confident in my ability to organize a presentation. Yeah, not too bad. So maybe in the middle. Confident in my ability to create clear transitions. Well, maybe. Well, let's go with the middle again. And of course, this is all about how you feel about your own skills. So be honest with yourself, and if no one else has to see this except for you. I am cognizant of the many different organizational types used to present information to audiences. Sure. Yeah, okay. And then I recognize how this project applies to my life outside of Toastmasters. Yeah, I think so, especially if I am about sharing information and trying to learn more. So now you'll see I'm at the last question. You can tell by the blue dot here, I've gone over to the last one on the right. So now the submit button shows up. So I'm going to hit submit. So a new pop-up comes and says, yay, you've submitted your responses. When you're done, you'll be able to see how you've improved or not. Please use the forward arrow to continue. So you hit this X, it goes back to the main screen, and then you continue through. So you're going to continue through all of the pages here so that you can work through your project. And then you will get to the complete your assignment page where you're going to make sure that you're prepared and organized. You've scheduled your speech, you're on the agenda, and you're ready to provide the evaluation form to your evaluator. Your project checklist is here in case you want to download it if you didn't download it previously. Here's your evaluation resource if you're going to email it to someone that's going to evaluate you. You can also print your project if you are a paper and pen kind of person and want to work through the project in paper. You can do that as well. There's a research worksheet, which is helpful if you are not too familiar or want to keep all your research in one place so that you can make sure that you're quoting it during your speech. And there's an outline worksheet as well. These resources are used at your discretion, however you like. So now I've researched, I've prepared, I've delivered. Now that I've delivered my speech, I come back and this is where I'm going to assess my skills again. So now that I've done all the hard work, how do I feel about selecting speech topics? Well, I think I feel a little bit more comfortable doing so. So I'm going to give myself a 4 this time. And what about unfamiliar topics and citing my research sources? Well, having that resources worksheet really helped me be able to have all of my resources in one spot because I was using multiple sources. And so now I feel a little bit more comfortable and organized in doing so. So I'll give myself a 4. I'm going to hit the next button. How do I feel with my confidence in my ability to organize a presentation? Well, I think I really did a bang up job on this one, but it doesn't mean I'm an expert yet. So I'll give myself a 4. And of course, if you need to talk yourself through these, that's okay. Or you could just, click. You don't have to give commentary if you don't want to. I am confident in my ability to create clear transitions. Well, you know, my evaluator did give me some feedback that I can improve on, but I feel that I did okay. So I think I'll give myself a 3, just because I definitely need to work on that still. And how about the different organizational styles used to present information to audiences? Well, I think I'm about a 4 for that one. And then how this project applies to my life outside of Toastmasters. Yeah, I can definitely recognize that. And I think that should be a 5. You'll see now that we've gone through all of the questions, and it's that submit button has come alive and I'm finished. So I'm going to hit submit. Now I can see, oh, look, I went from a 3 to a 4 for I'm comfortable in selecting topics. I went from a 2 to a 4 here. Oh, 3 to 3. Okay. So I still need to work on my confidence and in my ability to create clear transitions. So it gives you a snapshot of if you've improved or where you can still work on your own feelings about the question or the statement that was provided. So now that I've submitted my after skills, when I click this arrow here on the right, you'll see it says, congratulations, Crystal, you've completed this project. Now I have to remember that I actually haven't, because I was showing you tonight. There is no way that I'm aware of to correct this and put it back to not complete. So if that happens with you or someone in your club, it could. And if you're a Basecamp manager, you just have to make sure that you know and they know that it actually wasn't completed. But now that I have pressed complete, you'll see here now, it's going to reconfigure. And this has changed to 75% because it's showing that I've done the icebreaker, the evaluation and feedback, and the research and presenting. Now you can see that there is an activate button. Now that I've completed all 3 of these projects, I can press activate, and then it will ask me to complete it. And that is when the VP of Education and or the other Basecamp managers will get a notification saying Crystal Cobb has completed level 1 and you need to approve it. But I'm not going to push that because I don't want that notification to go to my Breakfast Club Basecamp managers because I'm actually not done level 1. But when you are, you're going to continue through and press the activated. Once they have approved it, then this level 1 will show at 100%.
May I ask a question?
Certainly.
In the level 1 completion, when you open it up, there is a screen and it has 3 circles around 3 sections of a text. And well, obviously you got to pay attention to the circles, penned in circle in red. And but I don't know. I just click on all 3 of them a couple of times so that I click on the question answer, and that's it. Now and then somehow sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. So I called Toastmasters and they said, oh, just click on the answer on did you complete something about if you have completed the level. You just click yes and that's it. Well, why do you have 2 more circles if only one of them is valid? I still don't understand that, but maybe you remember what to do.
I'll have to touch base with you, I think, individually, Winnie, because I'm not quite following. I'm trying to picture it, but maybe we can touch
there's
base
text coming up and there are 3 red penned in circles around 3 things. That's what you see. So what is supposed to do? I just click on them, all 3, a couple times here and there. Hopefully it works out okay, and usually it does, but not always. And Toastmaster told me to answer only one of them. Well, that's okay. It's just I want to know for sure the rule. It must be, it's a machine we're dealing with, so there must be one thing right and a lot of other things not so hot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, later. That's fine. I'm
Okay.
sorry I got to leave now for another meeting.
That's
Thank you
okay.
very much. Thank
You're
you very
very
much.
welcome, Winnie. You take care.
I will. You too, please.
So that takes care of the level 1. You'll also notice that now that I've said that I've completed my research and presenting, it says 3 are completed up here. You also see that now there's the evaluate button. So if I click on that, it asks me for my feedback on the project. You also get an email from Toastmasters International saying, congratulations, you've completed your path. Now we want to evaluate you to evaluate the project. It's only available for 10 days after you've completed the project. So if you do have feedback, whether you liked it or you think that there's things that could be improved and you want to submit those details to Toastmasters International for their action or knowledge, then that is great information because they're always looking for ways to hear feedback and obviously improve things as we move forward. So if you want to, you just click continue and then go ahead and evaluate. I think I've only evaluated once or twice for my projects. So it is a scaling of, agree, somewhat, neither, kind of neutral, somewhat disagree or disagree. There is the option for comments as well. So you are welcome to fill those out. And it does say that you can save and return later within the 10 days, or you can submit your final answers. So you don't have to do it right after, you do have 10 days. So that takes care of level 1. I'm being cognizant of the time. It's a hard word. And we've got about 2 or 3 minutes left. So I'm going to stop sharing here and just ask if there's any burning questions that I can help you with, or if you have any feedback for another session in the new year that you really want to see.
I think this was excellent, Crystal. Many of my people who are not here tonight, as you can probably see, because they're making not hot dogs, but Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes.
This is exactly what they need. So I think that I feel really confident about this. You explained it very well, and I can certainly work with them on this, and we'll use your recording as well. So I thank you.
Well, it's my pleasure. And I welcome any feedback. If there's something that you feel I didn't explain enough or that I explained too much, like send me an email, send me a chat, whatever, because the purpose of these sessions is to help you and to help our members. And I know that maybe tonight wasn't the best night, because considering that the holiday for our US friends is tomorrow, but I did want to get it in before Christmas, and there was not a lot of other options. So with the recording, once Anne has it uploaded onto the YouTube page, we'll make sure that that's communicated via the weekly email on the website and through our Facebook page. So that, and then I'll also make sure that the VPEs know at our next call, our peer call, so that they can make sure to share it with their club members.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome. So just a couple of quick announcements before you go, because I like to share information. We do have an event happening on Saturday, the 27th at 10 a.m. It is a Zoom moderator call, learning how to be a moderator specifically during contest season, because contests are just around the corner. And we want to make sure that you and our members have the confidence and the knowledge to be Zoom master. The session will be recorded, but if you can make it, it starts at 9 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Atlantic on Saturday, the 24th. Recording will be shared. Also, please mark your calendars for Sunday, December 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Atlantic for our district holiday social. I have a couple of division directors helping me plan that. We're looking at some fun and games. Make sure that you have your ugly Christmas sweater ready and you can decorate your backgrounds. There may be some fun prizes, and just get to know each other and have some fun and celebrate. And with that, I will stop the recording. I appreciate you taking